Hello co-spoilers. Welcome back to another thrilling episode as we dive into the captivating world of movies. Together, we'll uncover new cinematic gems and indulge in the guilty pleasure of wasting our time on things that truly don't matter.
In numerous ways, The Killer is precisely what you'd anticipate from a David Fincher motion picture centered on a contracted professional killer, a detail-rich procedural, almost what a hitman is constrained to do as his calculated world implodes. And by telling this story of a dangerous fuss budget who rehashes expressions like restrict compassion to keep himself centered, Fincher inclines into his notoriety as a precise, almost obsessive, filmmaker. The Executioner may be based on a realistic novel by Alexis Matz Noland, but it feels like Fincher's most individual film to date. Of course, it makes a difference to have a driving man who's demonstrated himself proficient at playing callous beasts sometime recently, and there are components of David from Prometheus in what Michael Fassbender brings to Fincher's anonymous hero. The Killer opens with a long voiceover scene as we observe this professional killer on a multi-day stakeout in Paris. He keeps an eye on the cafe underneath, plunges out to McDonald's for protein, and tunes into the Smiths on Rehash. Almost a dozen tunes from the Point of Interest band grant the film an mind-blowing soundtrack and include to its vacant humor. But he for the most part tries to mix in, noticing that he picked his mask as a German traveler since most French individuals dodged German visitors. In this character-defining preamble, Fincher and author Andrew Kevin Walker, 7, set the pace that nothing is hurried. It's a ponder look into the intellect of a killer, somebody who legitimizes his activities by noticing how numerous individuals are born and kick the bucket each day. Anything he does is fair, a drop in a gigantic bucket. After a couple of days in Paris, the killer's target at long last appears within the penthouse over the road. And after that, something happens that never has happened to this film's hero. He misses, hitting a blameless bystander rather than the expecting casualty. He quickly knows what this implies and races domestic to the Dominican Republic to discover his accomplice clinging to life. The cleanup team has as of now come for both of them. It's here where the Executioner basically breaks his possess rules. He has supplied capacity units in different cities and sufficient cash in outside accounts to never be seen once more. He might run. But the man who has told himself never to ad-lib and continuously to keep things from getting individual goes within the other direction, attempting to burn those who came into his house and those who enlisted them. Arliss Howard, Charles Parnell, and Tilda Swinton co-star, but this is often fundamentally a one-man appear, the story of an frosty professional killer constrained to induce a small hot. One can sense Fincher's energy for this extend in each outline as he returns to topics that have long interested him: fixation, hairsplitting, and control. It makes a difference, an incredible bargain that he brings along a few of his most fulfilled collaborators, counting cinematographer Eric Messerschmidt, Gone Girl, editor Kirk Baxter, The Social Network, and indeed Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross to handle the score. On a specialized level, The Killer murmurs like few movies of its sort in later a long time fair since of the family of the group behind it. One faculties, they all have the same hairsplitting as the famously point-by-point filmmaker, and this is often the kind of generation that rewards that sense of detail. It's not a film that ought to be harsh around the edges. It succeeds since it's as finely tuned as one of the killer's employments. Of course, a few will address why we're observing an flippant creature attempt to spare himself, and it's worth noticing that Fincher and Walker don't modest absent from this. I kept anticipating The Killer to undertake and soften its driving man, but there's no getting away that he could be a cold-blooded killer. When he snapped one victim's neck, I listened a pant in my film celebration group of onlookers, like they anticipated benevolence. That's not a thing in this character's go bag, and his totally critical and procedural approach to kill will turn some people off. Usually not a story of recovery but exactness. It's what happens when one of the foremost exact individuals within the world makes a botch. Fincher and Walker surged the ultimate act, particularly the most limited epilogue ever, but that complaint may blur on moment seeing as I accept it fits the no-nonsense approach of the title character. All of this might make The Killer sound like a drag, but it's worth noting that it's really one of Fincher's funniest movies. There's a amazing running bit approximately the assassin's fake names. And there's a cavalcade of familiar brands like Starbucks, Amazon, WeWork, and indeed Wordle, a comment on a world that's commodified and cold sufficient to permit an executioner to slide through it inconspicuous since individuals are as well diverted by something else. He checks on that to do his work. At long last, there's the evident Fincherness of The Killer. One seems see it as a filmmaker playing his most noteworthy hits with his best bandmates once more, but there's something more profound at play here. This isn't just the work of a craftsman repeating himself, it's the work of one revamping his topics and fixations into something courageous and unused. It eventually inquires in the event that individuals just like the executioner can close the world out to induce the work done. And, by expansion, in case a ace like David Fincher can as well.
Thanks for watching our video. As we wrap things up, we want to say a big thank you for being a part of our awesome community. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our future adventures. We appreciate all the likes, comments, and support you've given us. It's because of viewers like you that we're able to keep creating great content. So stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way. Remember, you're the reason we do what we do. Without you, our channel wouldn't be the same. So, until next time, take care, stay awesome, and keep spreading the positivity.